about January 1st at midnight is the look on the guy at Walmart's face when it's 12:01 and you're like, I want a fishing license.
Let's go. Do you really shoot the halibut once you get him close to the surface?
We just shoot the halibut every Thursday.
Fellas, get back in that current.
I love it.
That's all right.
I hate me too, bud.
It's okay, Ryan.
Like a really fat branch, definitely.
Should we just fast forward to the part where I say, so you got skunked?
I have a question for you. So
You came to the right place, bud.
no, listen.
And we are back. You were listening to the Rotten River Pursuit podcast. Sitting in the current. Oh, yeah. Boy, that sounds good. We are Reality Outdoor Radio, where our mission is to get you in the outdoors by connecting you with the people, skills, and products you can trust.
You can trust them.
I'm Ryan. Who do I got with me tonight?
This Pik.
I'm Steve.
I'm catfishing.
And I'm Will.
What's going on, boys?
How are you?
I'm doing good, buddy. I'm doing good. How's everybody else here tonight?
Great. I'm frustrated. I'm missing a button on my flannel.
What happened, buddy?
I don't know. It's my favorite flannel.
And it just turned up missing.
It did.
Son of a gun.
Flannel
wearing that
gremlins
on
that
the
live in my
kayak?
closet. Huh?
Were you wearing that when you were on the kayak?
Maybe it's in the bottom of the kayak.
It might have been.
Yeah, Potomac.
I think it was in. I have one of those dryers that eats socks. I have 400 socks, and none of them have any matches.
That was maybe an appetizer before the sock.
Yeah, I think it eats buttons.
Now, here's a question I got for you, Catfish. Check on the side of that shirt that has the buttons.
Yeah.
Check on the inside at the bottom. Is there any spare buttons?
There was. I sewed it on this sleeve, and I lost that one, too. And I know where I lost that one. A dog ate it all.
Most of your button-down shirts come with at least 2 spares.
Listen, if you're a true outdoorsman, you have a favorite coat or hoodie that lasts forever.
Yeah.
And this one is wearing out quickly.
Well, you weld with it. You do.
It's almost to the end of forever, you're saying?
Yes. Anyhow,
Goodbye, my
you asked
love.
how we were doing. I'm
sorry.
parting with one of my true loves is this old flannel.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Speaking of true loves, Ryan,
Yeah, bud.
why don't you tell us about this month's sponsor?
Good idea, Stevie.
That's smooth.
This month's episodes are brought to you in part by Protection First Class Outdoors. PFC lubes were designed and developed to protect and lubricate your firearms, your bows, your tree stands, heck, all your outdoor equipment.
What about fishing rods?
Absolutely fishing rods, Stevie. You know it.
No way.
You know it. Guys, I'm telling you, this stuff was originally designed to use an automotive undercoating. Now, it don't get more corrosive than that.
I heard that.
That's true.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah, buddy.
Does it leave a film or residue?
Absolutely not, Brian. No film, no residue. This stuff isn't going to harm the bluing on your firearms, any other kind of finish you got on any of your other outdoor products. This stuff is the ticket. And now wait.
I bet it freezes.
It does not freeze, Bucky.
What?
Oh.
But there's one more thing I got to tell you about. This stuff will also act as a cover scent.
You got to be kidding me.
How many times you ever taken a well-protected and lubricated piece of equipment in the outdoors? It stinks, boys.
It
Yes,
stinks.
it does.
Not this stuff. They got the earth and the pine cover scent mixed right into the lubricant.
Wow.
They
Come
thought
on.
of
Can't beat it.
everything.
That's right, guys. Make sure you head on over to pfcoutdoors.com. Check out everything they got going on over there. Pick up some of that lube. It's the ticket.
Oh, so what's been going on?
You know, I think that you, Mr. Pikarowski,
What?
and you, Mr. Will Miser,
Don't look at me.
have some splaining to do. You boys just got back here recently, didn't you?
Maybe a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were you boys at?
We went out to the ATAs.
Indianapolis, Indiana.
The Archery Trade Association show. Is that right?
Yes.
How was it?
It was
Fill
good.
me in. Catfish and I, unfortunately, were unable to attend.
But I been dreaming about that Rambo bike ever since we were there.
They have test tracks now, and there's multiple e-bike
manufacturers now. So there's around
They
the
have tracks.
Yeah, around the perimeter. Each of those bikes have their own test areas. So it's just like shooting a bow, only they're e-bike areas.
They have like built up little
Ramps
little
and-
hills.
Yeah, hills.
Get off some sweet jumps.
I thought
Catfish got to
there
ride
was
his
one
in the
that
circle.
was like it looked like a kids park or whatever.
Yeah.
And I so desperately wanted to ramp that thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I was a good boy.
Contain yourself.
You've got some good self control. How
It's
about
because people were watching.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
There wasn't enough people watching.
Oh.
Yeah, I did.
He only performs his stunts in front of
Draw a
large
little
studio
crowd,
audiences.
I'll get the nerve. But
I
those
gotcha.
things, the one that Baku, they tout that they have the most torque in the industry.
Okay.
On their bikes, and if you could probably get that up to speed pretty quick, so you wouldn't need a big runway.
It's like the manufacturer's largest payload per tonnage.
Yeah,
type.
Like a.
What are you hauling with that?
V6 Ford or something.
I was gonna say it has to be pretty impressive because the Rambo bike took off in third gear.
Yeah,
off it went.
I can't imagine having more torque.
No, but they tout that. I mean, they're probably similar, but I'm not. I didn't check the old specs on them.
But they had mentioned, actually using it to help drag your game out. So it had that much torque, that much power. Yeah.
Remember that package you were looking at came with the little trailer.
Oh, he said you could pull your kayak with it. Yeah.
Huh. How about bows? Y'all shoot some of the new bows?
So I had to. This is funny to me. Maybe just me. Maybe you guys can weigh in.
We'll be the judge of this.
Pik wasn't into shooting bows.
Really?
And I had to get
So
down
far,
to the
not
bottom
funny.
of it. I didn't understand why.
He was afraid to pick one up because he didn't want to have to go buy one.
You got it.
120%.
I feel your pain, buddy.
That's it.
I said, why did you come
I was reluctant.
to a trade show
An archery trade show.
if you didn't? I don't want to buy it.
I was
The last
reluctant
bow
for
I
the
picked up and
same
shot,
reasons.
I bought. And I don't want to have to pick up another one and like it and buy. I want to buy it.
Why
I
are you on a
understand.
podcast? Why do you go to a trade show? Like you got to be able to tell people what you did a little bit.
Yeah.
So eventually he started shooting, but I couldn't. We spent over 3/4 of the first day him not shooting, just avoiding. He wouldn't even look at him.
Divert your eyes.
Oh.
It's like the things he touches is tied to his wallet, and then
And everything there's the newest, coolest stuff, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
It would be tough.
Yeah.
They have crossbows, recurves, everything.
They had everything. They had everything. Yeah.
That was the big thing. Was the crossbow innovation is just going berserk right now, and I don't know what. I mean, obviously there's one company that is really kind of driving it,
Tugging at your heartstrings right
smaller,
now.
faster, lighter,
It's
more accurate.
the Raven crossbows, but there's a lot of bows out there now that are looking that have that similar design, that small limbs, tighter everything. Did you see how fast?
Man, they are so fast.
These are almost the bullpup small ones you're talking about, the little ones. Yeah.
Yeah, they're. I mean, when they're
Did you see what they're pushing? The brand new ones pushing now?
430, 450,
450.
450. I mean, when
Smoking.
when someone is, shouldering that and they shoot it, it just smack and you can't even see the bolt. I mean, of course they're shooting at 15 feet, but it is just unbelievable.
And we
how
talked.
fast they are.
We talked. I talked 5 years ago or whatever about deer jumping strings. That was back, at 30 yards, a deer can hunker down or pop up, throw your shot off a little bit. And, that's back when if you had a 300 foot per second bow, it was smoking and you had something.
Yeah.
And now
You have to worry a lot about that kind of stuff.
that takes a little bit of that yardage creek out of, you're talking 450? So it's making that 30, 35 yard shot like 20 yards before they can jump it.
You've got a single pin at that point out to 30, 35 yards.
And they're making broadheads that are that won't open. Mechanical broadheads that won't open at 450 feet per second. So you can't even put a regular broadhead on without expecting it to.
Wow.
It's getting wicked.
I would love to see.
It's been wicked, but it's getting crazy.
More wicked.
More wickeder.
More wickeder.
Don't we say this every year? Where are they going to go from here? They can't.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else to go.
There's nowhere else to go. And here they do. The race to 500
Yeah.
next year.
No, I the second day I did pick up the new Matthews, the 2020.
I want to hear about this. Did you buy it?
The VXR. And
Did you already put your order in?
Well, you're speechless, so you have to buy it.
It is so smooth. It is. I mean, like we were just saying, how much better can they get?
But they do.
How much they do. I mean, the riser's a little bit longer, like a target bow, which then makes the limbs more parallel. So you have that more stable platform, but you don't lose. Your draw angle isn't any sharper, so it shoots just like a regular archery bow would, but it has that feel of a target bow, and it's just
and it's so stupid quiet.
Oh man!
Again, we said it last year because with the verdicts, this one's quieter.
Yeah,
and I don't know how they did that.
Yeah. Yeah, they had some more recesses, or machining taken out of the riser. So even with the bigger riser, it's not any heavier.
Everybody's got specific things they like in a bow or how. I like a longer riser, but that's me.
Yeah.
Well, to me, I just that was another theme that you're seeing longer risers now. Like that, they're going back to it.
Yeah.
There for a while, the compact thing was everything. For tree stand,
maneuverability,
hunting up in a tree and stuff like that. But
I think
accuracy and
to me, I find a longer riser's more forgiving.
Yeah,
exactly.
I feel that way from my old target bows.
Yep, they're making a bunch of versions. I guess what you could say, and I think I've said it before, is just they're so modular right now. Like it might be a tiny mod that they throw on with like Matthews, or just build into the cam. Hoyt's going with just picking a letter basically.
You're not really buying a bow anymore. You're buying multiple bows in one bow because of the different things you.
Oh yeah.
There's characteristics. The new bows. There's characteristics of each bow in that one bow you're buying.
Correct.
So like you said, you're buying multiple bows. You can set that thing up, change your arrow length and the type of arrow that you're shooting, and take that on a 3D course, and there's your target bow.
Well, here's the thing. Some of the newer bows, because I got some nice bows, but do you think some of the newer bows with my arm injury would allow me to grow back into the bow? Like I could probably shoot it at lower poundage and build my strength back up.
I would encourage you to at least look into it, because they get down pretty low
and still shooting fast speeds,
and they're shooting shooting plenty fast.
Yeah.
And the variableness, if that's a word,
it is totally
of these bows and the way that you can set them up. It actually, that's it. It actually it helps with the resale value of these things. You don't necessarily need to get a right-handed bow at a 28-inch draw that's 60 to 70 pounds, and that's the only type of person you could sell it to.
That's it.
Yeah.
It opens it up a lot of options. And you had mentioned about longer risers. It's one of the things you got to think about is the technology advances have been made in the limbs.
Early to bed, early to rise.
And the cams. Yes. Early to bed, early to riser. Just because you're getting the longer risers doesn't necessarily equate to longer axle to axle, just because of the way that the limbs are built now, and you've got that beyond parallel limb design. So a longer riser doesn't necessarily mean longer axle to axle anymore. It's crazy some of the things you're seeing.
And then, to your point, Ryan, that the cams are made and machined such that you don't have that steep string angle.
Yeah.
Most people are worried about that pinching of the knock and the string angle. I mean, the cams are
almost. I'm not going to say almost no one, because there are still a couple out there that look like it, but you don't see those teardrop cams or those hatchet cams that you used to see anymore. Almost everybody's in the nearly round cam.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Limbs-
Even 2 cam bows, 2 almost completely round cams.
Yeah.
It's great stuff.
Limbs are at an all-time shortness.
Yep.
Like, the load that they're putting on those things are just insane.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Insane.
Had we tried to build that in the garage in high school, they would have blew up.
Oh yeah, in our faces.
Yeah. But I mean, when you're talking about
Even if you tried to build one today in the garage, it might do that too.
Still
the
might.
carbon technology and the glass technology of the limbs and stuff is there's so many layers. It's the strength of it's ridiculous.
Oh, it's silly.
And they can keep taking away more and more of the riser, and it's still as strong. It's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty soon, it just won't be a riser.
I think that
I don't know how that'll work, but it'll be anti-gravity limbs.
It's just a handle.
I'm just saying that they can't go anywhere else. It's just a handle, and you imagine the riser. Yeah.
Picture the riser looking like this.
Yes.
yeah, we'll be using the forest to drop deer.
I've been doing that for years, bud. This is not the dough you're looking for. That's what I said to my buck this year, right before I squeezed the trigger.
He believed you.
One thing that did catch my eye, switching gears, is the saddle systems that companies are coming up with
For your tree stand options.
tree stand options. There's a saddle or harness system.
I couldn't help but notice because there's people everywhere, and they were talking in the hall. You know, you couldn't really escape it. Like it was just people everywhere. I personally am not into it, but like a lot of guys are. Like I can see the advantages. I don't know that.
Can you explain real quick to the listeners what you're talking about? I'm sorry.
So basically, the saddle stand or saddle system is a general term, but they're the one company that was there that we demoed or looked at least I demoed and got into the unit was Tethered. It was the brand, and they had their small, probably 20 by 20 platform as your quote stand, and then you had a core door as your foot base that wrapped around the tree like a regular platform tree stand would. You had a lineman's belt or harness.
You said it right. Lineman's belt's about right.
Yeah, wrapped around your waist and your legs, and you used climbing sticks to climb up the tree. When you got to where your height the desired height that you wanted to, you had a rope that wrapped around the back of the tree. You clipped in, and basically you sat in this harness. With the small platform in front of you, so you were actually probably at a 35 to 45 degree angle, leaning away from the tree, looking at facing the tree, and hanging out there.
And this is what we say about where can they go next with tree stand technology.
Yeah,
here we are.
And
they go from these like penthouses in the sky to like almost
a minimalistic type of
that's a
gear.
good word for it, minimalistic approach.
And the angle is, or the pitch to prospective customers is it's lightweight. I think the whole system weighed right around 14 pounds, the stand, the belt, your harness itself,
and if
the
you
ladders.
get rid of the sticks and actually climb with gaffs, like not even like a lineman's gaff, not two, one on each foot, like a J gaff where you have 2 inches of steel out each side. You could put a 4-peg gaff on, which is actually 4 points coming off a single J peg off your leg. So on both feet total, you'd have 8 little spikes, which don't do as much damage to the tree, but it'll still stick into the bark far enough. So you could get rid of the climbing sticks and virtually climb the tree and use the same system down the road. Yeah, I'm not saying you could or should, but I would imagine
options.
That would get rid of some of that 14-pound weight.
Check those regs.
Yeah,
I think it is like
it's true. State Forest, you're not allowed to damage the tree, but that's the kind of thing. Like those are options.
Yeah,
they'll make rubber gaffs.
Yeah,
technology.
Yeah,
soon.
And I think the belt itself, the harness was around a pound. It was like 15 ounces. So it's
pretty light. What I don't know is the tree saddle technology has been around for a decade or more?
Probably more. I think it was probably closer to 15, at least 12 years ago that I saw him at what used to be the Eastern Sports and Outdoors Show.
Correct.
In Harrisburg, our great American Outdoor Show. I remember seeing them there, and it was probably 3 or 4 pounds at that point. It was this big, heavy leather deal that you sat in.
It was more of a lineman's belt.
It was a lineman's belt / rock climbing harness combination that was industrial strength sewn together. Still pretty cool. It's a neat idea. The minimalist approach, though, isn't so much the weight as it is, you're strapping it on just like you would a full body harness today. Most guys are putting that on at the truck, hiking into the woods with it. Only now you're literally hiking it in wearing your stand. But instead of slung over your back that you have to take it off when you get to the tree, like you're already in it.
Yeah.
You hit the tree and you just a couple steps, up you go.
If somebody wanted to go look at it right now, what would they look up on Google or whatever? In case they want to see what we're looking at.
Yeah, if you go to I believe it's tethered.com and it's TETHRD was that particular brand, but if you just searched saddle tree stand,
I could see a lot of different allures, if you will, for this. Actually, just for one, some guys want the next challenge. A lot of like old school archery guys or new up and coming young bucks that want to I want to do this because it's a challenge.
Yeah,
but I can also see, because I like to look at both sides, I can see some downfalls to it as well as somebody like myself who I have some legitimate back issues.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
One of my downfalls to that is I like it. I want to try it, but I don't like it because I don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
And if that makes sense.
I think I'm there. I'm in his camp 100%. I don't
like Lamborghinis because I'll never have one.
Think I could.
Yeah. And I'm the same. You
hate Lamborghinis
because I'll never own one. But if you gave me one in camo with 38-inch rockers on it, I would drive that sucker in a day.
Yeah.
Those rockers hold salt.
I hope he gives you one because I want to drive my truck over the top of one so bad.
They just rust because it holds the salt. It's planned obsolescence on Lamborghini's part.
Good point.
I don't want to ever see anybody. We talk so much about tree stand safety, and I'm not going to down any of this because I don't know enough about it to talk about it. But parts of it seem gut instinct unsafe unless you practice with it at a low height.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was in it for probably a minute, and I didn't feel like I was.
Are you like what I can't wrap my head around is the movement that it would take to get in position to shoot in some instances.
Compared to slowly standing up and using your knees to maybe kick a seat folded back, is that that's not?
Or just standing when you hear something.
Correct.
Or what?
You're already standing.
Yeah.
There's arguments to be made.
Yeah.
Pros and cons. I would
what I was
definitely
looking for.
agree that you should practice with it. But if you go and you watch some of the videos of how these guys can maneuver in this, and if you guys were at the show, I'm sure they were doing, people were demonstrating this stuff.
Pick was in it. They're climbing in them.
Right, but I mean, somebody who knows, not Pick, somebody knows how to use one.
Right, understood.
But I'm sure that they were demonstrating how you can adjust yourself, your body position against that little platform, and you can get different angles covered. With a little bit of practice, I'm sure you can maneuver around and do these things. Mm-hmm. One thing I will say as far as safety goes, there's no option to not be connected to the tree from the time you leave the ground.
That is correct.
Unlike every other stand I've hung or hunted out of, I don't use the lineman's or the lifeline on all my stands. Mm-hmm. I have it on some, but I don't use it on all my stands, even though I should. I have stands where I climb in where I'm not connected to the tree till I'm at hunting height and clip in.
And that's perfect, and that's why I digress. I'm just saying opinions from what I've seen. I've not used it. I've not been in it. I don't know enough about to intelligently talk about it.
Yeah.
My gut instinct looking at it, a younger me would have went full bore, tilt, bought the thing.
Yeah.
I've been hunting out of it every day till my legs, look like tree stumps. But it also looked to me like it could be abused or
Yeah.
not used in a safe manner. If
Or
you're
where
too
you
tired.
die and then crows land on you and peck your eyes out.
Yeah, but going back to what Will was saying, there is, you either are standing on this 18 by 18 or 20 by 20 platform for hours and hours on end, or you use the saddle to lean away, stand against the tree, and at that point in time, to Will's point, the movement, if you hear or see a deer behind you or to your side, you're right, Will, you have to have a gross amount of movement to be able to get on that deer, locate that deer, so
You can't
I don't
shift the
think-
butt cheek and look to your
correct
over your shoulder.
Yeah, right.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, those guys can be 30 foot in the air in no time or whatever. And
Yeah.
whatever. But I still think that's just a ton of movement.
Yeah, it's just another option. It's just another option. I mean, from hang on to ladder stands to redneck blinds.
When I grew up, though, nobody hunted 30 feet in the air. Nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, if you hunted 20 feet in the air whenever I was young, you were the dude that's way up there. And 20-foot ladder stands is the norm.
The norm now.
So, yeah.
But anyway, it was interesting. It was interesting. I'd seen it, watched some videos on it, and when I saw the company there, I wanted to step in it and try it out. And I don't know if
That's what the show's about.
Yeah. I'm not going to go out and buy one, but now I know it's out there. I know that what it felt like to be hanging off the side of that platform, and but yeah, it was definitely interesting to see.
I don't know what else was there. Just like last year, the range finding bow sites
Yes.
were still a pretty big draw.
Yeah.
I was looking at the Garmin a little bit harder this year, and I definitely looked at the Burris a little bit harder this year. And the thing I like about the Burris over the Garmin was that there's an actual 20 pin, and if that sight doesn't work anymore, if the
Do you mean batteries go dead? What?
Yeah.
So I think right now with the Garmin, it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's just a glass with red dots and green dots, right?
Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
And
So
with the Burris, it's a there's an actual 20
there's
pin,
a pin. Yeah.
and then everything illuminates after
It's
that.
a fail-safe.
Did you see the AR style 22 that's on the bipods right up there on the shelf, Will? See
Yes.
that red dot scope that's on there?
Yes.
On either end of that red dot scope, there are now mag pull equivalents of iron sights that fold down, because it had to actually happen before my son would believe me when I told him that red dot sight is really, really cool. Until the one time that you take it out in the woods and go to flip it on and you realize you left it on last time you were hunting, never turned it off, and your battery's dead. Now you've got no way to aim.
Oh yeah.
Which happened on a squirrel hunt. He had no way to aim, and he was very, very disappointed in himself. So we went out, got the Magpul flip-ups, and now he still has a way to aim, even if the battery goes dead. So
Yeah.
that's why I love the idea of what Burris did with that sight.
Yeah, and that another. I mean, there's different technologies between that
Oracle.
Garmin Zero, I believe it's called, and then the Burris Oracle. Like Will said, that fixed 20-yard pin, as well as there is no glass. There is just
In which one?
There's
the
no
Burris.
glass in the Burris.
Okay.
So, snow, rain, no fog, sunrise, sunset. You can be
little
the sun
glare.
could be low in the sky, and you can get a glare off of that.
Is it a hologram?
It is, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So your field of view is wide open, but then again, you have something, a solid surface that could fog up, or potentially, God forbid, you trip and fall,
Break.
and it could hit and break, and you have nothing. You have nothing at that point. So where the Burris Oracle,
Well, hopefully you have a warranty.
well, yeah, I'm sure they do. Yeah.
Lean on that. Pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Oracle, again, has that 20-yard fixed pin, no glass. So, when you set that thing up, at least you have some reference at 20 yards.
So what do? Do you have to shoot your bow to know how many feet per second it's shooting and then plug that into the...
Yeah, there's a sequence, and since we've been to the show, I've been looking at and reading up on both the Oracle and the Garmin, and specifically to the Oracle, you mechanically set up that 20-yard pin just like you would any other sight by moving your whole aperture up and down and left and right, and then you go to, I believe it's any yardage past 30 yards. You range that, you shoot, and then you go 10 yards past that to 40 plus. You range that and then shoot. And each time you shoot at 30 and 40, there is a manual adjustment of the LED light. Say you're hitting,
You just dial it in.
3 inches low. You click the dot or the LED to the spot where you're hitting, and then you hit a save. Well, once you've done those 3 points, the software
Triangulates.
Exactly. It does
There's
triangulate.
3 points.
It knows your feet per second. It knows the arc of your arrow, and from then you're golden. You just draw back, hit the button with your finger. It ranges. An LED light comes on. You put that light on the target. You hit the release, and it's dead on.
Not to kick over an injured turtle, but would this have helped you?
Which I've done twice.
In your life, or just like recently?
Do you think this might
Hairpins.
have been of use to you during your recent archery adventures in buck season?
Absolutely. Yeah, because I was at full draw.
So it would be worth the money.
Yes.
Especially when you've just gone through rough times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Is there any weight to it? It looks like it's heavy. That's me because I'm
It
looking
looks
at a picture.
military grade, but it is not heavy.
No.
Yeah, I think it weighs a little over a pound. Am I correct? I can't remember the specs on it. We'll have to check the site. And
No
look.
matter.
Check them specs.
It's no matter. Don't. I want one anyhow. Don't
But
worry
here's
about it.
the
I don't
thing.
care if it weighs 3 pounds.
You think about it's true. We all want one at this point. But think about when you used to shoot competitively catfish, like all of that stuff that you used to put stabilizers that went about 3 feet out in front of your bow, all that
Cross
stuff.
bars, cross stabilizers.
If that is heavy, if you look at it, any weight that it has, it's all out front.
It is.
It's exactly where you want the weight to be.
It's actually helpful.
It's
yeah.
distributing it. Now, again, going back to the technology advances in bows, and the manufacturers know what they're doing. Most of your bows off the shelf are balanced damn near perfect. Mm-hmm. So that little bit of weight out front, I don't think is going to hurt.
Well,
nothing.
next year, because of this amazing site, when the world goes nuts, they'll be building a riser specifically counterbalanced to put that on it.
It will accommodate arrows from 200 feet per second to 420 feet per second.
Yeah.
You can't put this on your new crossbow.
No.
That's shooting 450.
450s.
However, what are they now? This is
All you need is
this,
one pin
This
for
is
that
something
anyway.
that they're going to be. You can't go to the indoor 3D range anymore and shoot against me if you're having this thing on your bow.
What?
No,
Says you.
No. They'll be outlawing that stuff for 3D.
Now there are.
He'll probably grab it and bust it off my thing.
when you're not looking.
When I'm not looking, then I'll have to use that Burris Forever warranty.
What happened?
No questions asked
What
warranty.
happened to your fancy site there, buddy?
They call it the catfish warranty.
Listen, I'm getting older. It's no different than that tree lounge thing you talked about. I get frustrated with, either things I can't do anymore or things I can't have.
Yeah. Yeah. Along with the catfish rule, there is some states that won't allow for range finding
technology, which is dumb, I think, in my opinion.
Regs.
Yeah, check your regs.
Anything in the world that will allow you to
Be humane.
more
ethical.
humanely
Yeah.
put down your prey. Like there are some states where they have the and Lacey swears this was her idea, but we saw them at ATA years ago. They're actually knocks that dislodge from the arrow shaft that have GPS trackers built into them, but they would lodge inside the animal with a little fish hook or something, and then you would follow the GPS to your animal. But they're illegal pretty much everywhere. So, which makes no sense. Because you could find your animal better.
Yeah,
it's like tagging them or
but
something.
you can
like
put a
that for your
GPS
house,
on your dog and your wife's car and your luggage and everything else. I'm sorry, I went off the rails.
Come back.
One thing though, pretty cool about this is you can sight in 2 different arrow parameters. So you say you had a hunting arrow that was carbon, and then you went to a longer, heavier, bigger arrow for your target,
an aluminum arrow.
You can set a second
those tree
arrow
trunks,
profile.
your XX75,
XX75, 2816.
Yep. You push a button, go to the second profile, and it's sighted in already.
Or if you're hunting Africa, your Africa
you wanted an 800 grain arrow.
You don't have to sell me anymore. I already want one.
Hopefully.
Anyway,
hopefully
so how
that's
about
pretty.
those broadheads?
It was very.
I hope it's pretty obvious which setting you're using, though. I'd hate to get that mixed up.
No, it's just 1 or 2. It goes.
Oh boy,
1 or 2.
I'll get that all messed up.
Yeah,
it's hard to remember that.
And it does weigh a little over a pound. It's
Africa.
17 ounces.
Just set up one.
Still not
one.
bad.
It's
I
1
forget.
pound.
Is 2 my Africa setting, or is 2 for my red stag hunt in New Zealand? I don't recall.
This one's for 50,000 feet.
That's the voice I wanted to do. I just can't do.
That's bougie.
It sure is.
I just learned that word this week.
Yeah. So, but that's.
I like everything you guys are saying, and I will even allow anything that we've talked about to be your answer. But what is the thing that you saw that you know for sure you're going to purchase this year?
I think Will already did it.
Maybe.
All right, so then you can't use that.
What's your second
burst
thing?
sight? What's the other thing?
No, I am. I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm drinking Kool-Aid. I really do like that burst sight, and I think that's. I'm destined for it, so I'm going to make that happen. They dropped the price. I do know that, so that really helps too. I think the Garmin's still pretty.
It's
salty.
It's pretty salty.
Still close to 1,000. Yeah, 980 or 990.
They were at 800, but I heard that it's coming down from that.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's more reasonable than it's ever been. So.
I'd say.
What about this 450 feet per second crossbow?
If I had one, that's it. You know what I mean? That's where I'm going. That I just think it's more. It is beyond insane, but it's more humane. There's less drop. You can shoot it. It's a more true arrow arc or bolt arc. Yeah. For 20 to 30 yard shots, it's straighter, flatter. It's everything that you need to.
The kinetic energy behind that too would have to be able to punch through shoulder blades.
Oh my!
At that speed.
I just think if I'm
with
taking
modern chisel tips and.
Well, if I want to get somebody in the outdoors, I want to get Stevie hunting, or Leanna picks up the bow for the first time. What are we going to do? I think having the crossbow, I feel
that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, Phil has mine right now. Yeah. It opens up a lot of opportunities to get people understanding what it takes to hunt a little bit, and then they can explore even more. And not that you're not going to want to spend time shooting a crossbow like you do a bow, but you definitely absolutely do. But to me, I've shot slower crossbows, and it seems like that drop is from 20 to 30, 30 to 40 is pretty significant. Like with a slower 300 feet per second bow, it's noticeable, right? But at
a crossbow's extremely loud compared to a bow, so yes, you can shoot deer at 50 yards with them. Some guys, will do that, but it gives that deer an opportunity to jump that loud string noise because
Yeah.
they are louder than today's modern bows.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to piggyback on what Will said, it extends your season. Archery season comes in, down in Maryland the second week in September. Those people that don't like the cold weather or
So
don't
what
like.
you're saying is you're buying one too.
Well,
it sounds like
I still have to kill a deer with my Matthews. So
Then
What happened?
Then I'm yeah.
You passed.
What happened? I passed too
too
many
much
times.
passing.
You're not getting one this year.
Season's still in. Hope is not
Who, me?
all yet lost.
Don't be taking money out of your Jet Riverboat fund for.
No, I'm going the other way with archery stuff, but I'm going to break out my recurve. I'm
back to the
ready to roll
roots.
with that.
Oh, yeah.
That needs to happen because I'm.
Here's the crazy thing about archery, though, is that amazing. I mean, you can shoot literally stones with homemade arrows out of a longbow, or you can go with a 450 feet per second moon crossbow, which is, and it's actually a prototype of what Chewbacca shot. It's all still, an amazing sport.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
I thought the stands. Usually, there's something in the stand world that
Hawk's making a 5-pound hang on. Come on, we didn't even talk about
Yeah,
it.
what was the other brand?
Lone
Was it
Wolf
Lone Wolf?
Customs.
Lone
Lone
Wolf,
Wolf Customs.
and they're like under 7 pounds with theirs.
Well,
or
they
something.
made a setup with 3 or 4 sticks
3 sticks, I think.
and the stand right around little over 14 pounds. It's like 14 and a couple ounces.
Yeah.
That's a hike in. You can hike that for a while.
Yeah, and it was well made, and
Oh,
so
it looked
just-
beefy. If you didn't pick it up, it shocked you to pick it up. Is what I'm trying to get at.
When you looked at it, you're like,
looked
man, that's
stout.
heavy. And then you grabbed a hold of it, and you raise it up to your chin level, and you're like, wow, that's light.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was what a couple of us were talking about with the versatility of the saddle, and then you have something where you can have a full platform and sticks that is comparable in weight. Why would you not go with a lock-on or a hang-on stand where you can sit and get up and not have to have the complexity?
Honestly, some of that comes down to your comfort level, what you're physically capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys cannot safely hang a hang-on stand.
Yeah.
It's a tricky thing to do.
I've never
It's
really
tough.
done it.
Yeah,
I've
done
I've
it.
sat in a bunch of them, but I've never really done it.
I don't have
I've
a
done
hard
it,
time
and I
hanging
know I
them. I
shouldn't
have a
have.
hard time getting them out of the tree. The 2 that are up at Jim's are going to stay there till the tree grows around them because it's crazy. But when I break the strap loose and I'm holding on with one hand, it throws me off balance.
Yeah.
And to hold it up there on my shoulder and ratchet strap it, when the strap pops loose, there's this little sudden, and you like got to hang on to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the last time I took one off, it was difficult for me.
Yeah.
Because then you have one hand on the shooting sticks and you have this lock on in your hand. You're
That
just
was
trying to
a
get to the
Alanis
ground.
Morissette song.
I mean, the way to do that, run alignments.
I know.
Yeah.
Safety first. I know. That's
But if
just.
you do that, then you can lean back into your harness and
Yes.
you can use both hands.
Yeah.
But even then, it's not an easy task.
It's not.
So anyway, we didn't ask you anything about new broadheads you saw, any releases, any of the technical clothing. There's so much
There was a
to
lot.
talk about.
I looked at Badlands
From
had a new
ATA.
turkey vest that
Turkey
they're
vest.
coming out with, and
Really?
yeah,
Well, do tell. We
yeah.
got time. I want to hear about this now.
It was
Turkey
man. I tell you
season's
what,
next.
that seat was about 4 to 4.5 inches thick, and it was like that memory foam seat. It was neither. I mean, the first thing that I look at with a vest is number one, how many pockets does it have, and what's the seat feel
It's
like?
got tons of everything.
It's not big, it's not bulky.
Pockets for
it
days.
does, yeah. So it was really nice.
This is one of my difficulties too. Ryan just said about depends on your comfort level and your physical abilities. I don't sit a whole lot when I'm in a tree stand, so it hurts for me to sit down. I stand all day at work. I don't ever sit. I never sit down ever in 8 hours. If I go out to my truck, maybe at lunchtime, I'll sit in my truck. But
Right.
you see the seat that I'm sitting on now. If I sit in that wooden seat you're sitting in, I'd have been dead by now. I'd have died 45 minutes ago. However, I can stand on my feet all day long. So that tree stand where you stand up has that allure to me where well, I could do that physically, but could I really? So the turkey seat to me is interesting because when we hunt turkeys, we are sitting down.
Yeah.
And my legs fall asleep and my lower back hurts and I start to fidget and I get the elbow in the rib cage and stop moving.
Yep.
And from Lace or Will sometimes.
Or just go to sleep.
Will knows me very well. Sometimes I'll tell him, dude, I got to stretch my back out, which means I want to take a nap. So I'll lay in the ferns below the fern level while we're hunting. You can teach yourself to snore turkeys, by the way. I'm teaching that one.
Snore gobble.
Another thing I noticed, too, I wanted to bring up quick is that a lot of synthetics. Like guys are not. I mean, they're getting away from the natural deer urine.
You're talking scents.
A lot of synthetics,
not synthetic fabrics, right?
No.
But some of those you can't tell the difference anymore.
No, there was one. He had both natural and synthetic. I actually thought the synthetic was the natural. It had a more aromatic, I don't know, pungent to it, for the lack of a better term. I mean, it smelled like dough and
estrus. Take him there with you. That's the
he's
the taste tester.
I love that stuff.
And that stuff doesn't. I mean, it lasts longer. You don't have to worry about shelf life.
Have they have a new dripper or something?
Yeah,
like it's a drip system.
Yeah,
Lockdown?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
He's got a new version of that.
A new version of.
And I mean, as soon as you guys were talking ATA. Synthetic scents. Lockdown was the one that Catfish and I found that I was super impressed with his synthetics. It was amazing.
He had the bingo marker thingy.
Yep.
Yeah, the dauber.
But now he's got a new drip system, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So instead of just using the applicator and putting it on a branch or a tree, they actually found the magic spot on the bottle, and it actually has a ring, a black mark around the bottle where that rope or that lanyard goes, and it holds it at the exact angle where you have this steady drip.
Balances it just right.
Yep. And he said, this is, we worked on this exact spot. If you hold it upside down, it's going to not do anything at all. If you hold it too horizontal, it's going to run out too fast.
Take to figure that out?
I don't know, right? But it was
37 and a half.
Yeah. It was a black mark, and he said, put your lanyard right here, and hung it up in the tree, and it held it at the exact angle, and it's just this constant, steady drip, whether it be over, a mock scrape or,
Why do you think all these guys are going to synthetics? Do you think that first of all, for people that don't really get it, like, to collect scents, true sense is time consuming, difficult. Setup is amazingly hard.
Yep.
Like and they try to even collect the bedding and things like
Wick
that.
And drip.
Wick and drip.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no,
you're good.
That's a cool name too.
That's from Lockdown Sense.
I'm not sure who sits around and mixes things together until you get a synthetic scent that smells like doe and estrus.
Yeah.
Unless you're Ryan. However, once you get it, we got it.
You get that compound, you get that quote recipe.
Yes.
You can replicate it.
There's no overhead.
Yeah.
Once you've put in the effort,
you don't have to feed the deer. You don't have
that's
to.
It.
Yeah.
You don't
right
have to go out and hold bottles underneath them when they're peeing in racks and let them pee in troughs.
Here's the other thing, and this is from a consumer standpoint, this is the big selling point of synthetics. They don't go bad.
It lasts much
and they
longer.
don't turn.
And shelf life on like natural stuff.
There is none.
It don't last long.
No. You're talking days, weeks, hours if you crack it open.
Yeah.
Once the air gets to it, and of course everybody knows at this point that you got to have it in the brown glass, keep it out of direct sunlight, all that fun stuff. But once you crack it open, break the seal.
But the synthetic, so you
starts
open it,
breaking down.
Throw it in a dresser drawer. Next year it smells the same.
Yep.
Is that what we're saying?
Yep.
Even if air got to it.
Yes, sir.
It's impressive technology. Where I'm going to say it again. Where are we going to go from here? We're going to make synthetic deer next year.
Yeah.
I find ATA to be a super impressive show, just
Always,
because all the newest stuff is there.
It was my first time, and it was I didn't know what to expect, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, just head turn here, head turn there. Oh, let's go there. And on your way over to that booth, you're like, oh, I didn't know that they were here. And you take a right, and you're like, now where was I going?
Next year, you're going to go with him. Because you have to stop and try every release that's in the building.
Did Pik have like ADHD out there? You couldn't keep him focused on one thing. He just wandering. Squirrel!
I had the
Off
app.
he goes.
The app helped me out quite a bit. There was an ATA app that I downloaded, and there's stars that you would mark, and then I would go to my itinerary or scheduler, and then that was listed there. So that in a way that kind of kept me a little bit focused. But then
I don't know that that's true. None of that makes sense. I'll tell you what happened. I know, like, over the years, maybe it's the guys that spoiled me a little bit. I'm a little bit, maybe I'm a diva in a little way. I'm used to a little bit.
Your hair.
Yeah.
It's got to be the hair. I'm used to a little bit, like, having a little bit more attention, where I can turn around and, oh, dude, where was that booth? And look around and get, like, when ideas and or things are happening, like, it's got to happen in real time. So, like, I'm just used to having, like, two dudes with me at all times at least, oh, we need to talk to that guy. Remember that, because we're going to go over here and get that. And I would started to do that, and I would be like, oh, Pik, we got to go. Pik? Pik. Mike, did you see Pik?
He's gone.
I have no clue where he is.
Hey, Will, you gotta come over here and check this out. It's amazing.
And in fact, and what I ended up doing was all I had to do was double back to the other side of where we were. He just never left. Like, he never left. Like, we would be at a spot and say we'd hold up for 5 minutes, or we'd talk to somebody, or we'd be looking at something very intently, and then it'd be like time to go to find something else, and he would never leave, and I would not know that.
It's cool. You found out his pattern now.
I
You can
figured a little bit out now. It's like I got a sense of, but I would double back quite a bit. Pik.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Where is that boy?
I can't say that that's entirely incorrect.
Yeah. No.
It was
stands
fun.
to reason.
It was fun.
You're
It
gonna
was,
get
it was
one
a
of
great
them
time.
monkey backpacks that are connected with a rope.
A bungee cord.
Need something.
It's hard to walk away from some stuff.
Yeah, it was. It was.
But in the same token, like, I love that when we're talking to people that, Pik would get a little bit further or deeper with somebody than I ever would, and I do appreciate that. He's not afraid to ask them about their grandchildren, or tell me about the first time you rode a unicycle. I don't know how he.
It just comes out. Yeah, it just comes out.
That's
Yeah.
you though.
Bob Folkrod, he's a legend. He's from Pennsylvania, from Troy, and I turned around. I said, Will, can you get a picture with myself and Bob Folkrod? And so we walked over, and he was kind enough to stand and take a picture and
Tolerate us.
Yeah, so we started talking with him, and when he started talking about I said, what's coming up for this year? And he started talking about his grandchildren. You can just see a different look in his eye.
Yeah,
talking about his grandchildren and get him out hunting, and I saw that, and I continued to inquire, how many do you have? What are their ages? What's the last one? He has one that's 2 years old.
He's good at it.
He said, that's the last one.
He
I have
did it
it
to me.
The
Twice.
youngest one is 2.
he did it to me.
He said, my youngest grandchild is 2, and that's the last one. When they turn 5 or 6, I'm getting them out into the woods, and we're getting them a deer. So I just love that interaction and getting that little.
Maybe someday we'll try to talk to him, Pik. We can talk about that story.
I took him fishing one time.
Yeah.
And
Bob Folkrod.
No, you.
Oh.
Yeah, Bob. Yeah, that was last Thursday.
We'll call that Thursday.
No, I took you fishing one time, and I ended up
Crying.
spilling all kinds of. My mom died, and I lost my dog, and I sit there. He's catching bass. It's 100 degrees out, and I looked at him, and I said,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I pretty much told you all kinds of stuff I don't tell people.
I think you said, we usually fish till about 9 or 10 o'clock. It's 2:30.
Yeah, I'm still
out on
talking.
the water.
You have a way of making people do that.
Let's take a lap around the lake. He said, let me show you the backside of the lake.
Yeah.
That's a good skill to have.
Yeah.
And it's a good place to use it, too, because there's a lot of cool people rolling around.
Absolutely. I mean, man, to continue that story with Bob, I love
Let's
it.
wrap up Bob a little bit.
I love it. I love
There's
it.
other things about ATA.
He's OG. Bob's an OG.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome.
When Catfish and I were out there, I ran into one of my other favorite OGs. We were out, remember that we ran into Roger Raglan three different times. We ended up chit-chatting with him.
Yeah.
That was it's good stuff.
That's old school.
It's a great place to be.
Well, I'm real proud of you guys. It looked like you had fun.
Yeah, it was great. Great trip.
We had some fun.
We did.
Did you eat the truck stop meatloaf on the way home?
No, I was told to stay away from that.
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a whole adventure in itself.
Yeah, we did hit the Steak and Shake, which was my first experience.
I'm not been there.
That's a tradition. Yes, you have.
It was very
We
good.
go there every year.
It was very good.
Where was this?
We didn't go to Steak and Shake when we were out.
Indiana.
It's 20
Every
minutes.
year but when you and I went, I guess.
No way.
I
we didn't
remember
go to
those
Steak and Shake.
It's 20 miles. It's where we get gas coming out of the city, and it's like the first place. It's like we had a burger and a milkshake.
Coming out of the city, like leaving?
Yeah.
We didn't follow you guys when you left because we ran it. We had some weather.
Oh, you guys didn't, but Tracy and I did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we never hit the Steak and Shake.
we
We
didn't
hit the meatloaf in
The truck stop meatloaf.
Mountain Dew.
Oh, I was going to say. Yeah.
His steak made my truck shake.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Oh, it was rough. All right. No more of that. How much time do we have left?
It's about 17 and a half negative minutes.
Okay.
That's great.
Oh.
We had a blast. Guys, thanks for letting us go and putting on a show without us. And
Oh, certainly.
that you guys holding down the fort means everything. I wish everybody could be there for sure, but
Catfish and Logan gave us quite the story last week. So
Yeah, man. I heard that story.
Well,
It was a good one.
we just redid that story.
you relived it.
Yeah.
And nothing broke, and I didn't fall off.
Yay.
That's good.
caught
Yep.
bigger fish.
Caught bigger fish. Logan caught a 45 plus,
Holy
47.
buckets, that thing was big.
Do they take you for a ride?
They do.
Even I mean, you got to even if you're anchored at
Yes,
sandy,
they'll pull
sandy
you off
bottom,
anchor.
right?
Man.
Yeah, they'll just pull the anchor around. Yeah,
Wow.
I had even the small ones, even the 20 pounders will at least move you 10 yards
I can't. Why can't I get there?
because you're going to Florida.
There's that.
Bugs.
I actually saw that playing out. I'm like, don't ask the question, Will. Don't say it out loud. I know what he's going to say. He already has an answer.
I didn't see that teed up at all. Bugs taking me out. I'm going back down to Florida. We're not going for peacocks, but we're going for everything else.
I miss Boog. Tell him I said hi.
I will.
Yeah.
Yepper.
That'll be a good trip.
I will tell you one thing because my whole trip down there this time was absolutely flawless. The rock I tied the rope to for the anchor it was still at the boat ramp because I left it in case somebody needed it, another kayaker. But there
Pay it
is
forward. I like that.
there's exactly 9.2 miles when you leave the boat ramp till you get on 495, and there was a wreck. And it took an hour and a half to go 10 miles.
Oh,
So
that's miserable.
That's terrible.
Never fun.
I looked at Logan and I said, it just couldn't have been perfect because it was a mirror
Something.
glass river, perfect weather.
Really? That's my kind of time.
Never seen a river
That's
like
my
that.
kind of river.
It looked like a lake that had never been touched. It was gorgeous.
Did any of you guys see the river today? Susquehanna River.
Was it mad?
It was
Angry.
angry.
Yeah.
He was like Lieutenant Dan. He was mad. It was crazy. It was like swells. Like you could surf some of that stuff.
Wow.
We had 40-mile-an-hour gusts, something like that today.
Well, it just looked rough. Like really, really rough. So anyway.
Love it.
If anybody's interested ever in the ongoings or upcoming events of Will's Fishing Adventures, never mind, he's not going to tell you or post them to anybody ever.
That's not true. I told everyone I was going.
I missed it.
I told everybody I was doing something this particular time period, and everyone was welcome, and no one said a thing.
I'm only bringing it up because I'm grouchy about it now.
Some of us were waiting. Like, I'd like to do
Did you
something,
know about this?
but I don't want to influence. No, I didn't know about this specific outcome.
I haven't seen my brother in weeks. Real proud of him for going to ATA. You guys did great. And I sit down. How you doing, buddy?
I'm going to Florida.
What are you doing this week? Going to Florida tomorrow. Fish with Boog.
See you in 6 days.
We're leaving a day before it snows.
You know what's going to be cool?
Before it snows.
We didn't catch any snook when we were down last time. If you go back and listen to the Florida trips, we tried. But that'll be cool. I hope you get a snook this time.
I would love it.
I hope you get Snooky.
Yeah.
In Florida, you might see Snooky.
Yeah. The one from Jersey Shore.
Oh, that one.
That's Snooky. Yeah.
That's New Jersey.
Either way, it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either one, fish or person, will be fine.
Either snook or snooky.
Boog always takes care of you. And I'm literally just packing my underwear and jeans and you know, like absolutely just bare.
Well, you should take some shirts. I know it's warmer down there, but you'll get burnt, bud.
I'm going to take some long sleeves, maybe some FPFs.
SPFs?
Maybe some SPFs.
Yeah. Didn't you do that?
He's right, though. If you go down to visit Boog, he don't just wake you up at your hotel. He brings you breakfast. It's already made.
Don't even think
what were those
about
chimichanga things you had to have?
Cubanas or whatever they are.
The bongo thingies. Yeah.
Cubanas.
They're amazing.
You having some Cubans? Like cigars?
Cubana.
It was a Cuban
It
breakfast.
was like a breakfast.
Oh.
From a Cuban
thingy,
restaurant.
wrap.
He's got the bait in the truck already. Lines have been redone all night.
He told me, and like I didn't have this already in the back of my head teed up, but he was like, "Yeah, don't bring any tackle or anything." I'm like, "Yeah, definitely, no problem. That's cool. Thank you so much." Yeah, but I'm flying on Frontier. You ever do that? You have to pay for everything. Like you have to pay for an extra hoodie if you wear one.
Yeah,
like it's stupid. Like
it's a cheaper flight if you take nothing.
If you are a dude with a plastic belt buckle, you can go as cheaply as possible.
We flew to Florida one time on Frontier. We ended up making Hunter serve drinks to the other people, so we didn't have to pay for his extra luggage.
Yeah.
You can barter with them.
I bet you could.
You can dicker for days with those guys. There's ways.
You can literally get out of the shower, just leave your towel and put your flip flops on, and that's
if you do that, you're going to get down there very cheaply. Yeah. But like if you want. You have to, whatever chair you pick, it doesn't matter where you are in the plane, it costs money. So your plane ticket's one thing, but then you pick your seat, it costs another whack of money. One way, then you got to pay the other way back.
It's really no different.
You going to use the restroom? $17.50.
That'll be how bad you got to go, bud. What do you got in your pocket?
It's no different than any other
one
airline.
or two. They
It's
charge
just
you
the
for
way
two.
they regulate
if
it.
you're dumping,
everything's a la carte, including landing gear. Your choice.
Yeah, you're dumping at 36,000 feet. It's going to cost you.
That's good.
Well, have a great flight, Will.
Enjoy. Good thing. It's a good thing that your host is going to be amazing. You'll need it when you get there.
I hope that it's only a 3-hour flight or whatever, so it's not a bad deal. But
are you staying with Boog?
Yeah, going right to his house.
Cool.
That's the other thing. So maybe my airplane's going to cost me whatever, but Boog's taking care of everything else. So.
That's a good deal.
Life is good.
You got to go back to Meats. Remember that place?
That's down south. We're up north now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be heading to someplace warm.
That's right.
That'd be nice.
I'll be out in the freezing cold weather this weekend. That predator hunt starts tomorrow, so I'll be out Friday night. Yeah, they're calling for some snow, sleet, freezing rain, 10, 15 mile an hour winds. So
got a pretty sweet setup there on that
be out there.
tripod.
Yeah, we'll be out there. Hopefully, we'll lay some fur down and have a good time.
I hope you do.
Yeah.
PA's Flintlock season's wrapping up this weekend, so we'll try to fill one more doe tag. We'll see how that goes. You know what we need to do right now, though? Pik.
Yeah.
I need you to take that muzzle off Stevie so he can let us know a little bit about this month's other sponsor.
Okay. Hey, Stevie, tell us about this month's other sponsor.
This month is also brought to you in part by Miser Creative LLC. Rutten River Pursuits podcast is a production of Miser Creative LLC, and if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or if you need help creating video content for social media, look us up. Give Will an email at will@ruttenriverpursuits.com for more information or pricing options.
Those guys at Miser Creative, they're all right.
They create some stuff.
Heck yeah.
They do.
So, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan.
When we aren't at ATA and
fibbing about going fishing in Florida,
shooting bows and not telling our friends about fishing in Florida and paying for our dookies in the sky,
dumping at 36,000.
Where can folks find us?
They can find us at ruttenriverpursuits.com. They can find us on all your social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and the Twitters. Don't forget to check us out on the YouTubes at Rutten River Pursuits Podcast. And make sure that you listen to this podcast and all of our other podcasts on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcast.
I love those Apple podcasts.
The apples.
I know you do, bud. It's good stuff.
Yep. Well, like Mr. Miser always said, we did this current some justice.
We sure did, boys.
I'd like to think we did. I hope, you guys appreciate all our hard work, traveling all those miles.
Oh, it's tough.
It's nearly impossible to wrap the ATA into just one show when we got a couple other things to touch base on. I mean, Catfish and I sat there at the show and did, I think, an hour and a half that we trimmed down into about 70 minutes. So to try to come back and rehash
not even realistic.
No.
So I was just kind of.
you could talk all
Good luck.
day about it.
Grab some bullet points and if you're there, then you understand, and if you're not, then
which is nothing short of good news for all of our fans and listeners and everybody out there. The archery industry is strong, and thriving, and there are a lot of good things out there. So just get outdoors.
Excellent.
That's
point.
it.
I think that people need to start planning on the Great American Outdoor Show and come say hi to us.
There it is. If you have any questions about anything we talked about, come find us and we'll tell you all about it.
Yeah, we'll be there all week.
Love it. Good on you, boys.
All right.
Another great show.
Fly Frontier.
See you.
Get outdoors.
But I don't like it because I don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
And if that makes sense,
I think I'm there. I'm in his camp 100%. I don't
like
wanna
Lamborghinis
do it
because I'll never
I
have
don't
one.
think I could.
Yeah, and I'm the same. You
hate Lamborghinis
Because I'll never own one. But if you gave me one in camo with 38-inch rockers on it, I would drive that sucker in a day.
Yeah.
Those rockers hold salt.
I hope he gives you one because I want to drive my truck over the top of one so bad.
You hit the release and it's dead on.
Not to kick over an injured turtle, but would this have helped you?
Which I've done
in your life or just like
Tonight.
recently?
Do you think this might
Terrapins.
have been of use to you during your recent archery adventures in buck season?
Absolutely.
You can't go to the indoor 3D range anymore and shoot against me if you're having this thing on your bow.
What?
No.
Says you.
No. They'll be outlawing that stuff for 3D.
Now there are.
He'll probably grab it and bust it off my thing.
When you're not looking.
When I'm not looking, then I'll have to use that Burris Forever warranty.
What happened?
No questions asked
What
warranty.
happened to your fancy sight there, buddy?
They call it the catfish warranty.